Hi guys, Amy here. I am starting a new series on frequently asked questions, and so I'm going to share one with you today that I've received recently and quite frankly have heard several times. And that question is, we are needing some help. We have a lot of new patients who have canceled and or no-showed because they can't leave work. What can we do? Well, obviously, if this were existing patients, the answer would be a little bit different. But when we're dealing with new patients, there are generally three reasons why new patients fail appointments. One, we scheduled them too far out. Okay. Two, there was something on the phone call that they heard or didn't hear that was important to them. Or that they didn't like. And the third thing is maybe they're scared or anxious. All right. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how to overcome each of those three things. First of all, you have got to be able to get a new patient in within a week. I talk to practices periodically and they say, oh, it's 6 weeks before we can see a new patient and we're dying here and our production's down, and yet their schedule is jam-packed full. So obviously there are some other issues there, but if you can't get a new patient in within a week, it's your fault. Okay, it's how you're scheduling. And sometimes I'll be told, well, we do have blocks. Okay, what's happening? Well, we're violating those blocks by putting other things in. I'm sorry, guys, but if you've got recare patients who do not want to pre-book, or they've fallen off the schedule because they've no-showed or canceled, or they're wanting to reschedule from their original slot, do not violate your new patient slots to accommodate them. All right. Those patients ought to be put out beyond, when your next recare is actually available. All right. Do not violate the new patient blocks. I cannot emphasize that enough. So make sure that you've got that right. Let's say you do have them blocked and you're not violating them and you still can't get a new patient in for a long time. You need more blocks. Okay, you just need more slots. And so figure that out first and foremost. I'll tell you, a few years ago, one of my children had some sports injury. I can't remember which one it was, but I was told it happened at school, and the school trainer gave me the name of an orthopedist in town, and I called that orthopedist immediately and was told it was going to be about a week and a half before they could see my kid. Well, when your child has an injury, a week and a half is a really long time. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay. So I went ahead and made the appointment. I mean, it came at the recommendation of the school. I in my mind, am thinking I'm going to go ahead and make this because he's hard to get into. If I find something sooner, I'll cancel. So later that day, I was talking with a friend of mine, and she said, oh, you should go see Dr. So-and-so in Dallas. In fact, I'm good friends with his scheduler, and let me make a call. She made a call, got my kid in right away. All right, well, in the concern for my child and all the chaos and everything going on, I forgot to cancel the other appointment. Okay, I'm a horrible patient. I know. In fact, they kind of tried to track me down and told me how horrible I was for no showing. I'm really not a bad patient. It just slipped my mind. And quite frankly, if they had systems in place where they were able to accommodate me sooner, I might have been able to do that. Okay, and so they were a very busy office. I didn't feel good about how the phone was handled. They were very, very focused on insurance and money. It was just, there were just a lot of things about that were not very good. So anyway, that's the first thing, is make sure you can get them in within a week. Okay, sooner the better. The second issue, maybe they heard something on the new patient call that they didn't like. I hope you're listening to your new patient calls periodically. If you need a way to record those, call me. There are countless ways with technology today that makes it super easy to record those. If you have Weave or some other patient communication platform system in place, even some of your software has the capability to record calls. So look into that. But you should be listening to your calls periodically, especially your new patient calls. Do you sound distracted? Are you asking questions out of habit that really shouldn't be asked? Are we really listening? Just like we record our live patient interaction and watch it, we really ought to be doing that with the phone call. It's amazing to me how sometimes I will see a change in personnel at the front desk, and new patient flow will either go up or down. And nothing's changed other than that person at the front desk. And so, make sure that, you're not getting too technical or diagnosing over the phone or getting, are they being heard and understood? Are you building a relationship? Are we connecting with that patient, or are we simply going through the motions? Make sure that you build the relationship first, guys. That is so, so crucial. Don't get hung up on insurance. Don't get hung up on money. Keep it simple. Redirect the conversation back to the relationship and get them through the door. All right. Make sure that they feel gratitude from you. Not that you interrupted their day, but make sure that they hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you for choosing us. Gosh, we are honored, and you chose the right place, and we can't wait to be able to help you. I hope that you are really focusing on that relationship and that patient, and not just going through the motions with a new patient phone call. Make sure, too, that they get something from you in between that interaction and the actual appointment. Time is usually pretty critical, especially if you're getting them in within a week. And so you want to make sure that, if you send them something via email, no policy-driven information. This is all about them. It's a great welcome letter that tells them, how honored you are that they chose you. It may include testimonials. We need to understand that from the time we hang up that phone until they come in, we still need to be adding to or contributing to the value they have for this appointment. Because they may make the appointment today, and 3 or 4 days later, when they're supposed to actually come in, other things have happened in their life. Okay, seeing the dentist 3 days ago was important, but now other things have happened. Gee, maybe I have the opportunity to go to lunch with a friend, or maybe I don't really want to go to the dentist now. I'll do that sometime. Well, if they're on the fence, but they receive something of you from a value that indicates you are on the ball, you're ready to see them, they're probably more likely to come in. Okay, so make sure that what they've heard from you over the phone is all positive, all about them, all relationship driven. Now, the last issue, they're scared or anxious. All right. I remember a story that someone told me about a new patient who had no-showed 3 times. And my first question was, why on earth did you reschedule her the third and fourth time? Because this was a fourth appointment that she was coming in for. That was my first question. Why are we even doing that? Well, bad on me, because the end of the story basically is that on the day this patient was supposed to come in for the 4th appointment she had made, she had either canceled or no-showed the first 3. A patient walked in about 20 minutes after that new patient visit was scheduled, and they just assumed she had no-showed again. And one of their other patients walked in and said, "Hey, there's a lady sitting on the bench out front, and she seems kind of upset. I don't know who she is, if she's a patient or maybe, family member of a patient here. I don't know what's going on, just thought you should know." Well, the front desk gal walked out there, and it was that patient. She could not physically bring herself to go into the office. She was that scared. She was that anxious. Come to find out, she had actually shown up the 3rd time, but never made it into the office. Okay, the first 2, she chickened out. So obviously that's an extreme situation, but on the phone, you might be asking some questions like, how can we make sure you're as comfortable as possible when you come to our office? What is it that's most important to you? Maybe even a short courtesy call from the doctor the day before. If the doctor just calls and says, "Hey, Dr. Wonderful here. I understand I'm going to get to meet you tomorrow. I just want to let you know I'm really looking forward to that. And, if there's anything I can do to make your visit as pleasant as possible, I hope you'll let us know." Okay. In most cases, the doctor's going to be leaving a message. But if you do happen to get the patient on the phone, the verbiage is the same. And sometimes it's just that little extra that is all they need to push them over the fence to go ahead and come in. All right. And so some things there that you can do. Again, remember, get them in within a week. make sure that you're conscious of the relationship building and what's happening over the phone. And then the last thing is use some discernment and make sure you're in tune if there might be some anxiety or fear or some things going on, and even anticipate that a little bit. I think everybody has a little bit of dental anxiety. It's not their favorite place to be. We all know that. And so what can we do that might thwart that if it were an issue? Okay. Hope that was valuable to you. If you want this in written form, I do have a resource, a tool for that. I've put that right down there at the bottom of the video. You can download it. But if you have questions you'd like me to address, again, feel free to email me, Amy@BradyGroupLLC.com. See you guys next time.